Animation films have come a long way. In fact, animation in general has come a long way, with new technology and different ways to tell stories. But without sounding like an old man, they seemed better back in the day. Now, let's be honest, this isn't always true. Animation films tend to just keep getting better and better, and if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know how I feel about Pixar having some of the greatest films ever created. But some films have a target audience that are made purely for children, filled to the brim with poop jokes, rubbish slapstick humor, and boring characters. Parents take their kids to the cinema so their kids can be entertained for an hour and 20 minutes. And kids are young, and for the most part, they will be entertained by anything, right? Well, mostly, I think. But that doesn't mean filmmakers and animators should just say fuck it to making a coherent and meaningful piece of art. This is where a film like Land Before Time shines, as it is a film made purely for kids, but still to this day offers something incredibly meaningful and beautiful. Hi there, it's me, the Average Critic. Hit that subscribe button for more videos on all your favourite animated movies, and let's talk about The Land Before Time, a kids film with heart. So The Land Before Time came out in 1988 and was directed by Don Bluth and had executive producers Steven Spielberg and George Lucas. It tells the story of a group of young dinosaur children after being separated from their families have to find their way to the Great Valley, a beautiful safe haven where dinosaurs can all live happy and safe. Aw, shucks. Let's start off with some basics which hit me straight away. This film's animation is gorgeous. Every single landscape and character model is beautifully drawn, giving a sense of depth and colour, which is interesting considering this film has a lot of dark colours in it. There are a lot of dark browns, blues, and when there are brighter colours, it's filled with orange and reds, making the backdrops of these films look like framed pieces of art. Whereas something like modern-day animated movies, and even the Land Before Time sequels, they have bright and standout colours which really distract you. The first film chooses to have a much more darker colour tone to frame the whole movie. You aren't distracted by any of the characters or even the backgrounds, allowing your focus to be on everything, blending the world and the characters together. Obviously, this film for some is going to look a little outdated. This film is even before my time, and I don't think it's even possible to find a true HD version of this film, but the animation style somehow gets more beautiful the older it gets. If the film was in black and white or even had a much more brighter colour palette, I think the film's animation would be outdated and look bad, but somehow due to the lack of technology of the time, allowed this film to be much more artistic. Even more than some of the films that are coming out today. The 2D drawn animation fits the tone of the movie and it isn't distracting in the slightest. This film's score is also incredibly memorable, scored by the late James Horner, who is known for scoring films like Titanic and Avatar. The score has this classical, orchestrated style, which gives a sense of fun but sweet style mixed with a sense of mystery and adventure, as this film is about dinosaurs, which, if we know anything from Jurassic Park, we know that dinosaurs have captured the imagination for years and years to come. James Horner creates wonderful scores to match the scenes beautifully, truly amplifying the whole experience of the movie from not just being a pretty animation on screen, but being a memorable and artistic one. The film also deals with some obvious undertones of prejudice, loss of family, and family meanings in general to allow this film's story to stand out. The premise of the story is pretty basic. The characters go on an adventure to get from point A to point B, but along the way we have Sarah's discrimination of dinosaurs who aren't her kind, giving this film a lovely mellow message of racism, which I really enjoy. A universal message which, in my opinion, isn't looked at enough in kids films. There's even small themes like Spike being adopted by Ducky and his family making the theme of family being chosen rather than born. Even Petrie has the arc of not feeling close to his family due to the inability to fly, and of course Littlefoot going through the trauma of losing a family member. This film's themes are embedded into this movie without being chucked too far down your throat. The director has even stated that the film was influenced by a lot of biblical references. Although this one isn't as obvious, it just shows how much thought was put into this film. This film has some incredibly dark themes, even so much that Spielberg and Lucas told Bluth that some scenes are too scary, stating that we'll have kids crying in the lobby and a lot of angry parents. You don't want that. 11 minutes of footage was cut from this film, which is probably a stretch as this film is just over an hour long, making it a very short film, which makes me really want to see a director's cut. But I love how the director perhaps didn't hold back when making this film, allowing for a full artistic freedom, especially when making a kids film. Sure, perhaps the scenes that were cut did need cutting, but these days in kids entertainment we tend to sugarcoat serious themes for a much more light-hearted narrative. usually at the expense of animation TV and films feeling cheap, boring and pointless. If you need any more proof, just watch any modern day cartoon show for kids in comparison to old TV shows like Hey Arnold, Ed, Edd and Eddy and Samurai Jack, which all dealt with serious issues at the same time being fun, light-hearted entertainment. The Land Before Time is an easy, light-hearted film which I admit can have some quite simple, kids-easy dialogue, but with enough backbone and underlying themes to make this film a bar standard for animation films now. Now, I talk about a lot of companies like Disney and Pixar who are very clearly making films that are fun for people of all ages, but some films are made purely for kids that adults will be happy just to have their children entertained for a while. But at least with The Land Before Time, you know it has heartfelt messages and some dark undertones that means if you're going to buy this film on DVD for your kids, you're not going to be wasting your money because it is a very good film, even ones that adults can appreciate and respect. So yes, The Land Before Time is very much made for kids. From its script, simple story and characters, compared to films like Disney and Pixar, it isn't really up to their standards. But for those films that are just made for kids, The Land Before Time generally stands out because it actually has heart and a genuine artistic direction that, if you're a parent, makes you at least know that your child is in good hands and is watching something worthwhile. Just because your kid is entertained by everything doesn't mean they should settle for cheap and crappy. So after all that, it gets my professional rating of 7 out of 10. As sadly, I am an adult and aspects of this story are quite children orientated, but it gets my personal rating of 9 out of 10, as I'm sure nostalgia is helping and also there is my love of dinosaurs. This film will be showed to my future children, and if I have some, I shall be proud to watch it with them. So thank you for joining me in this video. If you enjoyed The Land Before Time, why not like this video? Don't forget to subscribe and make sure you hit the notification button so you never miss any of my videos. If you have any animated films you would like me to review, why not stick them in the comment section and we can keep this conversation going. But thank you for watching and I will see you all in the next one.